What's up, Recovery Warrior family? Jay Rizzo here. I know it's been a while. Man, I hope you guys watched my last video. It was the Rick Ross celebration. Check it out, it's on my channel. It's the video before this one. But yeah, man, I've just been chilling, hiatus, letting things happen in God's hands, you know what I mean? God's will.
That's right.
So today is the weekend, we're chilling. I have a guest on the channel. We're going to go back to the couch chilling format, maybe drink some coffee. Put out more of those videos. Still working on other projects, so stay tuned. But today I have a brother on. He's going to tell us a wonderful story. Go ahead, Garrett. Take it away, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you for having me be here. Good morning, everybody. My name is Garrett Medicine. My Indian name is Walksmith is Wounded from the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. And I'm from Wakpala. I live here in Fort Yates. And I met Jay Rizzo in recovery. A little bit about myself is I grew up, you know, in an alcohol and drug addicted family in Wakpala. My grandparents were alcoholics, and my mom became an alcoholic, and I was born that way, and I ended up living my life that way. I'm half black and half Hunkpapa. I grew up here on the reservation. Also, my black family is from Chicago and stuff, so my family is kind of all over the place, from Chicago and Denver and whatnot, due to my mom's alcoholism and being raised and stuff in that way. And I learned to adapt and live, and that became most of my life when I was younger, living in that lifestyle. I am 44 years old. I grew up that way with my parents, with drugs and alcohol and abuse in my home, and
You said you moved all over.
yes.
Like, were you guys like homeless? Did you live in motels?
Yes, we started out homeless when I can remember. We was homeless in Denver. I mean, in Chicago. We went out there, and we started out like that, and it was in hotel rooms. My mom was actually trying, and then I remember living in hotel rooms in my younger ages, from like 9 to like 12 or something like that.
I have a similar, you know, my mom was going through something with her, my stepdad.
Yeah.
And we had to live in a motel, and the domestic violence program bought us a bunch of food, and I thought it was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got hooked up with a bunch of food.
Yes,
Little did I know we were homeless, and
Yeah.
I thought it was like a vacation. I just asked because I kind of relate, being little and living in hotels. Like, God,
That reminds me, Jay, of I thought that was the life. I mean, I didn't know any better. It was normal. And like Jay said, one day, one of my white kids, I was always friends with these, rich kids for some reason. When I went to school, I loved going to school because it was a way of getting away from my house, because they wouldn't sleep, and everything that goes on, the alcoholism and the drinking and partying and fighting. And I was just school was one of my outlets, and I wanted to go there because I can eat and everything was better.
Yeah.
And so my friends at school, kind of told me about food stamps and stuff like this, and I didn't know I was poor. I didn't know that. So I went home and I asked my mom, I was like, do we get food stamps? And she goes, yeah, boy, don't you know? And I was like, oh, so we're poor? And I was like, 10 or 11 years old, and I didn't know that. And she goes, yeah, we're poor as fuck, don't you know that? We homeless and living in these hotels, and from hotel to hotel. And
now eat your noodles, boy.
No, get your homework done and eat your, So it was pretty crazy, and I lived that way for a long time. Eventually, I got involved. I ended up getting somebody pregnant at the age of 16 in high school here on the reservation, and the reservation was the best thing for me because my mom finally got a house in Wakpala, and that was the life, because we finally had a house and everything. But two and two go together, and it ended up getting worse. My mom's alcoholism and all that life started getting carried away, and I ended up immersing myself in it, as a survival skill. And So back in those days, it was be a part or don't be a part of anything, and don't talk about anything, and you know, I got to be cool, and however society was back in those days. And so I adapted and survived and thought that was the natural way of living and stuff like that. Fast forward into my 30s, you know, my addiction and stuff got pretty carried away, and then I'm using heavy drugs with my mom and with everybody around me, and my uncles and everything like that. And you know, they were telling me, you know, you don't have to do this, you should go to school and still this and that. And me growing up that whole way, I had to immerse myself in everything, you know, and have to be the real deal and all of that stuff. And I seen all the hardships that came with using and being a part of that lifestyle, and that hurt only brought me to use more, because that was my coping skill now. And lo and behold, you know, to fast forward to my parents' demise in that lifestyle. And I lost a lot of friends in that lifestyle also. A lot of friends living that fast life. You know, about 83 friends, and plus my parents. I'm an only child. I don't have brothers or sisters. And it's crazy because two of my best friends had passed away right along where my parents had passed away. So one of my good colas, he passed away about a month before my dad passed away. And my dad was beaten to death. They were drunk or something, and I don't know how it happened or where, you know, I know where it happened, but I didn't know the whole full story. And that's good, because I don't need to, you know. Right. And so one good thing that happened is my dad came to me in my dream and told me that to let whatever happened to him go, and don't be trying to hold anybody accountable or your
dad said that in your dream?
Yeah. Wow. He used to like sports cars, and the old muscle cars and stuff like that. And so he was a firefighter. I became a firefighter because I looked up to him and I wanted to do something earlier in my life to get away from, and he was kind of teaching me that work ethic that I have now. And so I love my father a lot, because I became a firefighter for 8 years here in Standing Rock when I was 19. Until I was like 25 or something like that. But that was a vice where I could, positive thing.
Yeah.
When I got paid, it was always towards my
get a pound.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. And so, but it was a good work ethic and a good teaching. And so my dad, after he died and stuff, about a week later, he came to me in my dream, because I was just, you know, torn apart, and about my friend, and then about my dad. And geez, I lost all those friends before then, and that lifestyle, so it was like she just weighing on me. And you know, and then he came to me in my dream and said, don't be holding that. He pulled up to me in a hot rod. He came up in his Nova, and he always had Keystone rims, and it was jacked up and stuff. And I was cruising in my Camaro. I ended up buying a 1981 Camaro. And my second firefighting season, I saved up all season to buy me a hot rod.
Nice.
And lo and behold, my dad went and bought it for me, because my mom wouldn't let me have it.
Wow.
And it was a 81 Corvette Series Camaro. Anyway, with the VTEC Vortec engine, and I was driving that car, and I seen him in my rearview mirror in my dream, and he come rolling up beside me and rolled his window down. He used to have this mullet. We have this curly hair, but he was like, he wore a mullet.
He looked like 88 Ice Cube?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's crazy. And he pulled up beside me, rolled his window down, and he said, don't be carrying that stuff in your heart, son. And just let it go. Otherwise, you're never going to know happiness. And then he smiled like that and said, I love you, boy. Now keep up. And he took off.
Oh,
and then I woke up. And when I woke up, I was like, I told my higher power then that I'm just going to let that go and not worry about whatever happened and how he died and stuff like that. But he was beat to death and stuff like that. And my best friend's brother, we didn't get along because we're so much alike. We used to go around and, you know, not bully people, but we thought we was hard and had, you know, a lot of different weapons and stuff like that. And back in the day, that was the thing to do, and how to be or whatever. And We didn't like each other because we were alike in that way. So before his brother died, we never hung out, or when we did come around one place, you could just feel that our energies colliding. So we would make that space because we loved our brother that passed away. But when he passed away, that brought us together, and that's how we found out that we were just alike.
Yeah.
And we we're like, wow, you know. And then he helped me bury my dad. And then 6 months later, my mom passed away. She did a bad hit of dope, and then she passed away. And I was doing drugs all along with her and that whole time. And I wasn't there one time, and then that happened. And so I felt guilty because I'm supposed to be protecting my mom and this and that. And my mom was guilty, felt bad because my dad wasn't supposed to die first. It was her and this and this. And so I was in the mix of all that. And that happened, and my world just fell apart. And then my buddy was there, my buddy's brother, and then he was there with me. And then about 2 weeks later, he ended up having a heart attack and dying. And that just tore me apart because then it was just me. Yeah. And I just went all balls to the wall, and I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna die that way too. That's the way I'm gonna go. Yeah. And so I just immersed myself. I just let everything go. I didn't care about anything no more. I took off to Rapid City. I was all over the place in my addiction and using days, and I went down all over the place. So there's no place I can't go where alcohol and drugs were a part of my life, and how I was a part of the community and that negative realm. So I went down to Rapid City, and I started just living off the streets down there. I was homeless, carrying off, robbing and stealing from Walmart, being a booster, stealing from people, however that life is to survive. And I just wanted to die, using everything. I fell out somewhere, and I got poked in the arm when I was sleeping.
A knife or something?
No, a needle, a dirty needle.
Dang.
I was an IV drug user, and living that lifestyle, there's not good people around. And I was lucky enough to be able to sleep somewhere that was safe, and lo and behold, I still got poked. And I woke up and I had that needle in my arm. I was like, what the heck?
Is it bleeding? No?
Yeah.
It wasn't at the time?
It was just hanging there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and it was just gross looking, like there's dirt and everything in there. So I didn't care about it. I just pulled that needle out and didn't think about it, and went and got my next fix and whatnot. And 2 days later, I woke up and my arm was about as big as my leg. Dang. I ended up getting a staph infection. Yeah. And that same place where that happened, my friend's mom was like, you need to go to the hospital. And, you know, my using and my addiction came first, and I didn't care. I just wanted to die anyway.
Yeah, I got other veins.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to give up. I didn't even want to give in and go, because I wanted to be where everybody else was, you know. And so I took off and left and came back the next day, and the pain was just... It was rugged. Every time my heart would pound.
You could feel it?
Yeah, I had a fever.
Infection.
Yeah, it hurt. It was like there was pressure on my arm. It was a mad staph infection. I ended up going to the hospital, listening to them. They gave me a bump, and, you know, I drank about a half a bottle of vodka. They said, yeah, it's cool, Garrett, but you're not dying at my house, and this and that. And I had two friends tell me that. And then finally they both took me to the hospital, gave me a bowl of cereal, a bump, and some whiskey, and took me to the hospital. And I went to the hospital, and they told me that I had staph infection running to my heart and to my organs. And they put me in that big old machine, and then after that machine, they said, we're taking you to surgery right now. And I stayed in the hospital for about 2.5, 3 months, fighting that infection or whatever. And my addiction came back. And I still didn't learn, you know, laying in there. You know, I didn't know what was going on in my mind. All I knew is that I had to get out of there. A blizzard was coming, and I had to get home. And home was back here to the reservation. That was just a cop-out for me to get out of that hospital and go back to IV drug using. The doctors and everything told me that I shouldn't check myself out because I had a 87% chance of living that week because I'm taking that infection would come back and kill me.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't care. I signed myself out. 2 months and about 3 months and a week, I guess I was in there. And I took the IVs out and I signed that paperwork. The nurses and stuff were kind of crying. My guardian angels, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
And they told me not to leave and stuff. And I didn't even have any clothes. Had some doctor clothes, and one of the nurses brought in some clothes from home, and that was it. I loaded up and I headed back out to the streets and continued my life, and was proud about it. My chances of living was slim. And I ended up getting in trouble. I ended up living, by the way, and I just started going hard in my boosting, and however that was, and however I can rip somebody off, or I knew where all the plugs were and anything that they need me to do, or if I could be security at their house or around their property, or however that went, was my lifestyle of how I got my fix. I ended up walking into a hotel during the daytime. A door was open, and I walked in there and I robbed a couple of laptops out of a hotel on East North in Rapid City, across the street from that one hotel. A lot of bad stuff happened at. Anyway, I walked into the one across the street, and I was checking all the doors for, in my lifestyle then, early in the morning the hotel doors were open, and that was easy access for me to come take a refrigerator or the TV out of the room. That was my little hustle, and it was horrible. But it caught up to me. I found a maintenance room open, and I took 2 laptops out of there. I wasn't fast enough or sneaky enough to be, not caught on camera, and then that was my demise and God's demise to teach me a lesson. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here now. So I got a 2nd-degree burglary and a controlled substance ×2 because my dumbass had dope on me, and I wanted to get more dope, and that's how I was gonna feed my habit.
Isn't that crazy? In addiction, we have stuff, but we still need more.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know how many times I've done that too. Like, Jesus Christ, you had enough. Now you're in jail.
Yeah, the detective ended up finding me because I was still wearing those dumbass shoes that I had when I did the dirt. And I'm glad I did it by myself because I didn't have to, God works in mysterious ways. And for some reason, for me to survive that same hotel, I went there to try to get a job at a pizza place later on down the road. And they were going to hire me until the...
Really?
Yeah, because I was tired of being homeless, and I was trying to, it was like 100 degrees out. I went into that Bob's Pizza, and I was trying to get a pizza job or wash dishes or do some shit. And after my interview, the detective come walking in, and a whole group of cops, and they're like, yeah, you came in this hotel and stole some stuff. And I was like, oh, here I go, I'm going down. But anyway, I ended up going to jail for a very long time, and then that's where I had my spiritual awakening when I found my higher power. I was just tired of being in there, or not being in there, but living that lifestyle. And if I was going to go to jail living this lifestyle, then that's what it was going to be. And I did it. I did the crime, and there was no way around it. And so as a man, I had to own up to what my mother and father had taught me, is to have respect and to own up to your problems. And my dad said, if there's good, there's bad, and you're gonna make that choice in life. And I made that choice, and I'm gonna live. I remember him telling me that. I looked down, and I had all my toes and my fingers and my teeth, and I was looking in the mirror, and I was like, why, God, is this happening? Like, why?
Purpose, son. Yeah, purpose now.
And then he's like, he said that I'm going to show you something, because I know in your heart you want something different. And it was just that little voice in the back of my head, and I think that's who God is. It's just us, the good us. And so he told me that he's going to show me that everybody didn't die for no reason, or he just didn't take them for no reason. Because I blamed him. I was just like, well, you took everybody from me, and this and that, and it wasn't that. It was the addiction and the drug use and all that took my family away, from friends away. Was living that fast life, and I didn't know that. So he told me that I'm here for a purpose, And when I was in that cell, he said, your parents and everybody's right here. I'll show you their love and how much they love you. And that was just overwhelming. I just couldn't stop crying because I could feel all that love. And I remember all the good times. I didn't remember any of the bad times. It's all the good times we had. And I can hear them all, you can do it. You know, if you get out of here, you do what you got to do to, you know, give it forward and help other people, because that's who you are.
Yeah.
And we're okay. We're right here with him, and you're going to be okay because he loves you and he loves us, and we're all right. And I couldn't get over that feeling of overwhelmingness and that love. And so I stayed in my cell and cried for a long time, and then I accepted that I was going to jail, and that I did what I did. And if I got out of there, if there was a way out of that cell or out of my situation, that I'd give my time and effort to help as much people as I could in my recovery. And so lo and behold, I go to court. Gee, about a year and a half later, I sat eight months before I even went to court, and then I ran from that charge 3 times, I think, before I got caught there at that place. And then so I had no bond, and you know, it was like 30 years for the charge, 15, and then you get the 2 drug charges, and that adds it up to however much, and it doubled. And it's like, there's no way out of this, you know. And I accepted it. So when I went to court, the state's attorney and they had a whole crew over there, and they were all standing, and you know, they were ready to put me away. And then the judge looked at me and said, well, what do you got to say about all that, Mr. Medicine? And I said, well, I did that, and I own it, and that's something that I did. And I'm very grateful to be here to have to, you know, face whatever I gotta face. And I have no other words, but I own it. And he looked at me, and he looked at them for a long time, and then the state's attorney starts saying, well, at least give him 20 or 15, at least 8 years, something mandatory, you know. The judge looked at me again and said, well, today's your lucky day, Mr. Medicine. Show me beyond a reasonable doubt that, you know, you deserve to be free today with no bond. And what these 4 people over here are telling me, I shouldn't even be letting you out. And in my heart, and everything that happened in jail showed me that there is something, you know, bigger than me in the universe. And I'm great. I still live that day today because of them. I'm sitting here with Jay because of that. And
awesome.
I'm just so proud and happy that the support system, the support team, and why that judge cared, why my lawyer cared. There was 2 white people I didn't know, or Washichu people that I didn't know. My guardian angels again, I think. That cared for me, because when I got out of there, that lawyer was throwing shit around in his office. Like he was, like he was my uncle or something. So I was just sitting back looking at him like, and he was like, you know, a guy flipping out, and that's crazy. And I didn't expect that coming when I got out of there. And he said, no matter what happens, you better not run. You better call me. You better go do your 24/7s. You better follow some damn rules. You go over to the, you know, I was homeless and I was poor and I was broke, so I could, you know, and they just gave me enough rope to hang myself if I want to. But everything my higher power showed me in jail and showed me that day was that I have no choice but to follow some rules now. And I gotta have respect for myself. I can't let that guy down. I can't let me down. I can't let the big guy upstairs down. Because he showed me that everything's okay and everything's gonna be all right. And I never had anything like that before in my life. And you know, I was 41 then, so that was just a couple years ago, and I'm 44 now. And I figured I finally got my head out of my ass and was like, I'm gonna, you know, put my foot forward and do what I said, and you know, put some substance behind all my positivity, because everything I knew before then was negative, just all negative, and I didn't know whatever a good life looked like was a fantasy and a dream. And so that stuff I prayed for in jail, I have today, because I put my sobriety first. I'm not going to lie to me. I'm not going to lie to my higher power. I'm not going to lie about anything that's falsified in that negative realm or to anybody, because I seen different.
So with that, when you're feeling like the fantasy, so to speak, was, I remember hearing that, what did that seem like out of reach for you? And then today, do you live that? Like, do you realize you're living that?
Yeah.
Now? I mean, was it out of reach to you at the time? Like, fuck, I can't do that.
Yeah, yeah. I was in my brain.
Yeah.
I was like, that negative realm still had a hold on me, and and it still does. It comes back and be like, you can't do that, and I think that's just my addiction, and that's its little way of trying to coast you back into there.
We would say the easier, softer way.
Yeah.
And in recovery,
Yeah.
That creeps up to me too.
Yep. And those tools I learned about, bettering myself and everything. I use those this morning. I was listening to motivational speeches and stuff like that, and I do that that's the way I fight my addiction, because I'm a full-blown IV user. I drink a lot. Used to drink a lot, 3 half-a-Gs. Used to be able to do that and not even get drunk or high or nothing. And so that was a fantasy, and my brain told me that you can't do that. And then my higher power told me, well, what else do you got to lose?
Right. Isn't that cool?
You did everything else. Yeah. So try this once.
That's awesome, man. Like, same. I could do this. And it's basically, for me, my fears creep in. My little defeat. Like, oh, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to do that. And then all of a sudden it's like, why not? Just do it, tackle it, climb over that wall. And then I do, and it's like, shit, it wasn't even that bad.
Right.
It wasn't even that hard, looking behind me like, I got this. Yeah. It's awesome, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that whole time I was just getting myself out of the way and my ego and everything that I learned back in those days to survive and be tough and whatever it was. And I was just a whole ball of wax to keep me, that big lie to keep me where I was. And that's what addiction and that lifestyle is. It's, it's slowly that death and that fast life, and that everybody passed away in my life due to that. They didn't get to see forward. And my parents didn't get to see their grandkids, but I get to see my grandkids today, and I get to be a part of my kids' life because I put them on a back burner. Nice. And they invited me back into their life because they were scoping me out for the first 2 years. Like, you really sobering up?
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna head out on us again, I think. And I'm not. I'm right here, and I text them every day, and I think it bugs them. But I'm proud to have everything that I prayed for and that I worked for, and it was because I got off that fence thinking that I can do something for myself and for my community around here. Before I moved back to the reservation here, I was scared because I was like, oh man, there's no opportunities there on a reservation. There's no help and stuff like that. And I was gonna move back here with my fiance, and this is where she works and this is what she does. So I was like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna, whatever God's guiding me to do, I'm going with it because somebody actually loves me for me that I asked for, so I'm going with it, and everything will be okay. So when I got here, there was only one AA meeting going on, and now we have like DONA meetings going on, and I go around to every community on our reservation and do NA and AA meetings for our communities. And I was putting my foot forward. I guess that was something that I had to do. And I just want to give that message of people have support and stuff now. And I think my higher power is using me and the other people that are in the same boat, like me and Jay Rizzo and other people out there in our group and our support team here on the res, to be strong for all the other people, to be here and show them that people do care. I care so much that I'm doing other things to give people incentive in their recovery and their willingness to try and be of service for our groups and whatnot, and the people that do see it, and like I did, I see them bettering their lives, and it's a awesome miracle to see and watch a person grow. And I think that's how I was when the people were helping me. So there's a lot of businesses and things in the community out here that are showing me that it's possible, and closed mouths don't get fed. And if you're going to help somebody, my higher power is definitely guiding that way and showing that it is possible, because I got me out of the way, and I just want to help other people see that light that I found, and that everybody deserves to live a happy life and to be happy in life and to get what you really want. And sobriety and being sober and clean is possible, I was in addiction for 30 years, and I'm sitting here clean and sober today. And I got the same 24 hours as a millionaire, and I got the same 24 hours as a bum. And I was a bum before, and I know what that feels like. I don't know what all that other stuff entails, but I haven't seen it yet. But like that fantasy and dream of moving forward and helping as much people as I can to be happy and to live that life, I'm gonna definitely do that, because my higher power let me out of that cell for some reason, and I can't give enough. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to be here with Jay Rizzo today. Thank you, brother. I love you. And,
yes, sir. Love you too, bro.
I love everybody out there, because I know that once I got myself out of the way and wanted to do something, my higher power is giving me that opportunity and all the tools to do that with. And sometimes it takes time.
Oh yeah.
Everything takes time.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because it's all going to be better.
Yeah. I always tell people that too. I'd be like, what would life be like if it was perfect? It would suck.
Right.
You know, you'd get bored.
Yeah.
There'd be no challenges. You know, here's
Yes.
$1 million. Now you'd probably be unhappy with $1 million, because we're just human. We find faults in everything.
Yes.
So, enjoy that challenge. You know, I always tell people.
Yes.
You know, when I work in recovery, and it's awesome. And love my job too.
Yes.
But yeah, do you have any shout outs or any closing words for the people out there in Recovery Warrior?
Sure. There's people out there. I want to give a shout out to Res Recovery. I'm a part of their group at the treatment center here in Standing Rock. Want to give the shout out to everybody that are doing things like this in our community to help and better our people in any way, and being of support. We all support each other, mind, body, spirit, and soul. Whenever I'm praying at the end of any meeting or anything that I'm a part of in that sobriety realm, I'm praying for everybody out there in addiction, that they don't give up and they keep moving forward, and let the higher power that came in my heart and surrounded me with His graceness that surrounds all of us in all of our communities. I just wanted y'all to know that, and that our communities and there's a lot of people out here that care and pray for that one thing for all of us to get better and as a whole. And give the shout out to my family that supports me and gives me the time to do what I do, and shout out to Jay Rizzo for allowing me to be here today.
Oh yeah, bro.
And that's it. You all have a blessed day.
Okay. So, Garrett, we're gonna go ahead and give some coffee to the people out there. People who can't have coffee, we're having coffee. Anyways, this is a morning show. If you've been watching this long, my name is Jay Rizzo. I'm an alcoholic in recovery. This is the Recovery Warrior channel. My brother Garrett, you can say your last name if you want him to hit you up on Facebook.
Garrett Medicine, Garrett Lakota Medicine.
Garrett, hit him up on Facebook, man. He's doing a lot of big things, man. So yeah, my name is Jay Rizzo, Recovery Warrior. Facebook page, hit me up on there if you want. Like I said, I am an alcoholic and addict in recovery. So if you like what you see, hit that like, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe. Love you. Bye.